Well, welcome everybody to today's episode. Today we have a very exciting guest, Nick Roman. Nick is founder and CEO of Quantum Edge Precision, QEP. So they do AI integrated CNC manufacturing and workforce development. He's got over 17 years in precision machining. And for those of you just joining the podcast, we at Strativa AI help businesses scale their revenue over 12 months using AI. So if you're interested in learning more about how to use AI in your business, keep watching these episodes. And as well, feel free to drop the word growth into the DMs here and we'll get you a free growth consultation. So, Nick, can you please tell us a bit about yourself, what your role is at QEP, and just how you got started in your field?
Hello, Mark. Thank you for having me, and to everybody on the podcast, thank you for listening. My name is Nick Roman. I am the founder and CEO of Quantum Edge Precision, a company that I launched after 17 years in manufacturing and CNC machining. And I launched this company not just to start my own business, but to make a difference in the next generation of the workforce. I decided to make it my mission to take everything that I've learned in my career, create a workforce development program, start a company where people can learn how to make real world parts, make real world money, and have real world skills that they'll be able to take on with them for the rest of their lives. I can go on forever, but that's the short end of it right there.
Fantastic. And I know that, when we were first communicating back and forth, I noticed that some of the work that you've done, some parts and pieces have gone many places like aerospace, etc. And I saw iRobot as one of them. I have a buddy who works for them. So yeah, can you talk more about what QEP actually does?
So Quantum Edge Precision, we manufacture advanced parts for defense, medical, aerospace, you name it, we can make it. We make space parts, body parts, boat parts, car parts. So we take
Wow.
any piece of material, we will create a program, we will use our CNC machines, multi-axis CNC machines, to create a masterpiece that just so happens to make the world move.
Nice. Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, sounds like you're in a lot of different industries.
Yes, absolutely. We Throughout my career, I've made parts for Raytheon, GE, Boeing, iRobot, SpaceX. I can go on and on. Those are the big ones, but the list's
Yeah.
too long to put in one page.
I hear you. That's great. That's great. That's awesome on the resume for sure, and really impactful in the real world as well.
Thank
And
you.
so, how big is Quantum Edge in regards to either ARR or team size? It sounds like you go into a lot of industries, yeah. And so, how big is your team?
So at the moment, for Quantum Edge Precision, it's my brother and I who have been bootstrapping and taking the reins on building out the infrastructure, building the partnerships within the community and the ecosystem, civic partnerships, educational partnerships, and other partnerships within the region, other manufacturing facilities. So my brother and I and three machinists that I've trained throughout the years are on board to get ready to take on the work that we need to take on and build the next workforce and create a workforce pipeline where people can come, join, or move on afterwards. And part of the team is not just Quantum Edge Precision, but the entire ecosystem of manufacturing in Massachusetts. We're ready to work with whoever, whenever, however. And the important part is bringing manufacturing back to our communities and giving people a trade and skills that they can be proud of,
Hmm.
like I am.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. And so, is most of your work regional then, as far as what you said with Massachusetts, or is it New England, or yeah, what does your scope of work look like there?
Well, Massachusetts happens to be one of the manufacturing centers of the United States. A lot of companies are in and out of here, and a lot of companies subcontract to one another through some of the uh, larger companies throughout the world. So in Massachusetts, we work together. A lot of companies do work together, subcontracting or outsourcing to one another. But we can take on any work from anywhere, and we'll all get it done. If Quantum Edge Precision won't get it done, we'll team up with one of our partners to get it done.
I see. Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. What would you say your goals are for the next 12 months for Quantum Edge?
What I'd like to do in the next 12 months, I see us standing up our manufacturing facility. Once that's in place, he's preparing a gala, see if we can get some funds raised to make it a little bit pretty so it doesn't just have a bunch of machines in there. maybe give it some character, a little bit of flavor. Then within the 12 months, we will begin our AI augmented trainer program and work with our educational institution partners we'd like to, my goal is to train 20 to 40 machinists per cycle. Within the year, I'd like to have 40 machinists trained through my facility. And if we could do more, if we get more teachers and more people involved with the program, I'm sure we can have more people trained.
And you mentioned the AI component there. And so what is the AI component that you guys are utilizing?
So a lot of AI startups, they focus on softwares or creating apps. We're actually using the AI by integrating it into our workflow. So not only the workflow for machinists, but also the training program. So what we'd like to do is have AI sort of a mentor or a teacher, so to speak, where our trainees can interact with the AI, ask questions about what they're working on, and create a recursive feedback loop that they can learn from and
Hmm.
expand their knowledge exponentially by using these systems.
Fantastic. Okay. So a very specific use case in regards to your business and I guess the extended industry as well. Yeah. And so
Absolutely.
is it that it sounds like you're essentially building out an agent to be able to interact with those that come into Quantum Edge. And so is it ready or are you still, I mean, I know that there's always tweaks to any AI and a
Yes,
very responsible human intelligence overseeing these all the time
absolutely.
is a very important. But is that service of having that AI led service, is that ready? Or do you
Yes.
still have some finishing touches? What does that all look like?
So, since it is a novel technology, so to speak, and a new way of working with AI, it's a work in progress, but it's already work in progress. So it's
Yeah,
something that we've already been able to utilize. We have a proprietary framework that allows any AI system to integrate our framework into it and essentially turn on our agent for anyone who is involved with quantum edge precision to be able to interact with.
got it. Okay. And so as your goal of, hitting 40 through and expanding your business in either number of jobs or revenue, right? Like comes to fruition. Are you focusing on growing your business mostly through the workforce development stuff or in combination with something else? Like so exactly like how are you growing your business?
So manufacturing is a trade that is very broad, but at the same time,
Yeah.
it is something that is very much needed and throughout the United States, frankly. So there are a lot of programs and a lot of incentives in place right now to stand up these types of manufacturing facilities and programs and develop the workforce. With Quantum Edge Precision, I kind of did everything the other way around. A lot of people will stand up their facility, they'll seek funders, they'll look for $500,000 in funding first, get everything set up, and then they have nowhere to go once they have everything set up. I built out the partnerships first. I built the alignment, the ecosystem that's going to be involved with the facility, and now we're ready to stand up the facility and turn on the breaker, so to speak.
Yeah. Flip the switch.
Let's go.
I love it. Yeah, let's go.
Absolutely. So I actually, before our podcast, I got off of the phone with Mass Tech, uh,
Huh?
a Zoom call rather, and we were discussing how Quantum Edge Precision can take advantage of some of the initiatives and grants that they have available, not just for workforce training, but infrastructure build out, software development. There's a lot of things that are available, and so part of the mission is taking advantage of that funding since it's out there and then holding accountable those who should be helping these types of companies to stand this initiative up. This is a mandate in our
Hmm.
country right now.
Hmm.
And
Indeed, it is.
we want to make Fitchburg a regional model for what can be done when community and civic leaders and private and public institutions get together and focus
Mhm.
on a mission that's bigger than one entity.
And so, as you've got some great clarity around where you want to go and how you set things up at the beginning, and your ability to integrate the AI with it right along the way, what's been some of the most common misconceptions around integrating AI into businesses that you think like maybe you've encountered or that other businesses may have when thinking about integrating AI?
I think the most common misconception is that AI is going to take people's jobs.
Yeah,
And I think that part of what quantum edge precision is doing is showing that it's not about the machine taking the place of the human. It's about the human doing their job better using the machine. We made the machines. We're smarter than the machines. A lot of people think, oh, it's going to take my job. It can put together sentences faster than me. It wouldn't know what sentence to put together unless it, unless we, we have to change that misconception about what it is, which is just a mirror of our collective intelligence. And now we can utilize it to build things that we all need. And so I think when you change the way that people think about what should we use AI for, then some of those misconceptions we can kind of quell them.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Indeed. And so how do you keep that human touch to be balanced within what you're offering and basically feeling as though the AI isn't just being set off to do its own thing?
A lot of manufacturing will require human oversight. The AI is not going to, even if you have robotics, you still need a human there to train the robot. So the AI is not going to be able to run the machines. The AI is not going to be able to set up fixtures or mill jaws or probe parts. That's integrated into the machine itself, into the CNC machine itself. It still takes
Sure.
a human to code it and to tell it what it needs to do. The framework itself is an agent, but quantum edge precision is not necessarily going to be replacing people with agentic frameworks that a lot of other companies use to automate other processes. And especially on the manufacturing end, you can't really replace the human hands when it comes to opening a machine and setting it up in a manner that is going to require the precision that the human mind can make.
For sure. For sure.
One of the
Okay.
things I try to tell people, even the machines, we're talking on a device that was created by humans. These things
Right.
did not come before us. We came before them. And so there's nothing to be worried about with AI. I think one of the bigger things, if we go on to the AI topic, it would be the alignment. We talked about, you mentioned you want human oversight, somebody who is, or individuals, because quantum edge precision is a node where everybody's feeding into the same system.
Sure.
So it's going to be a very community based type of framework because you don't necessarily you can't use it without human input. It's
Yep.
impossible not to have the human input.
Yep. Yep. I see. I see. And, as I've had other guests on, sometimes their industries are very, very specific and needy in a sense of around like compliance and regulations. Think around things like financial tech and also like healthcare. I speak to a wide range of people on this podcast. It's really exciting. And so industries like that are very, very concerned about compliance and regulatory issues. So,
Right.
are those very big drivers in your realm as well?
To an extent, there are particular certifications when you're working on federal contracts that you must have. You must meet certain criterias and requirements. QEP meets many of them, and we're working on other ones. They take a lot of time and cash to be able to get.
Right.
And we made sure that our use of AI is not going to interfere with any type of proprietary information that a lot of these organizations would not want
Hmm.
spoken to an AI. So AI serves a specific role within quantum edge precision and how it is being used. Humans still have to do what humans should be doing.
Indeed. And so it sounds as though it's very specific in regards to the delivery of your product.
Yes.
And how else, if you have you implemented AI into your internal workflows, like
So
automating processes, just either as
yes.
a company or
Yeah, so
stuff like that?
aside from emails and creating content that might sound a little better by using some of these systems, the way that quantum edge precision uses it is it's particularly and more specifically is for troubleshooting. So you can use the AI to say, "Hey, I'm working on this right now. this is the issue that I'm encountering. How can
Ah,
I? What can I? Where can I? Why can I? And
right.
you get your answer. You think about it. You don't take it at face value, right? Because it says it can make mistakes just like humans. And
And it
you
does.
have, yeah, and it does. And that's how you troubleshoot in real time. It allows work to get done faster. The thinking process is less analyzing, no less analysis paralysis, and more execution. And
Yeah,
that's a big
that's
way. That's
huge.
how we get work done.
That's huge. Indeed. Have there been any instances where the AI automation has led to certain challenges or setbacks? And what did you learn from those situations?
I haven't encountered anything yet, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess maybe I haven't used it in a way yet where I would encounter that. I've tried to keep in mind where those things may happen and stay away from it. But a lot of the tools that we're using already, like CNC programming, we use CAD/CAM programming. That is an automated system for a computer assisted machining that we use in order to send the G code to the machine, and the machine again. It will only make a mistake if the programmer, which is the human, makes a
Yeah.
mistake.
Right.
Ultimately, it's the human cannot escape from the accountability.
Good. Very good. Fantastic. Well, it sounds like
Excellent
you've.
questions. I appreciate the questions. They're all great questions.
Oh, thank you.
They're the type of questions that a lot of individuals that I've met so far have not necessarily asked because a lot of people don't know about AI. They haven't used it as much, and they look at it as like a glorified Google or
Yeah.
glorified
Right.
Siri.
It's so much more than that.
It is, and when again, the I'm trying to change the perspective of how it can be used. It can be used to advance our knowledge and to help us make decisions faster, not make decisions for us,
Mm-hmm.
but be able to
Exactly.
compress our questions and come up with an answer quicker.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and just working within the guardrails, the lanes that we want to give it for each situation and then maintaining that oversight. So, your case of using it and what you want to do with it and how you're tying in the workforce with it as well. So not just around the products, but also the whole idea of creating a workforce by the assistance of AI. And so speeding up that education and that workforce to go out in the most efficient way so that
Right.
they're trained to be the most skilled as efficiently as possible, I think is absolutely it's needed
Yes.
and
And I think another important part about that is that it will allow them to learn how to use these technologies in real world situations and be able to adopt
y-
this technology in other aspects of life as well
yep.
in a way
Yep.
that is helpful for them. Again, not to do it for them, but to help them do it more efficiently.
Right. Right. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. There's bound to be a lot of transfer of learning. I'm sure that you'll get some great stories that come out of it as you ramp up, over the next year and bring all your knowledge of the past 17 years, et cetera, and really kind of pick gas on the fire, as they as they like to
Yeah.
say, right? So yeah, you've got some fantastic business goals over the upcoming 12 months. What would you say would be the biggest challenge that you're seeing right now that you'd like to overcome?
I think that the biggest challenge is it's probably a challenge that I've created myself because I think a lot of people have not taken that type of challenge on, and that's seeking the federal support that is necessary for these types of initiatives. It is a big
Mm,
endeavor. It's a small business, but it's still a big mission. And it just so happens that the mandate requires our civic leaders and the individuals who are in power, quote unquote, to do their due diligence and make sure that we get what we need, and that happens to be jobs and workforce development.
mhm.
So I've taken it upon myself as a mission as well to do whatever I need to do to hold any one of them accountable, whether it's through podcasts or radio stations or X loops or posts on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
The truth, the truth will be said, and I will hold myself to the same accountability and standard of transparency as I expect them. And that's what I've been doing.
Would you say that that's a magic wand for you to really help get the word out? Or if
I think so.
not,
I think
would there
it's
be something else that would be a magic wand to really help you elevate your game even more so?
That's a good question. I think is a key or an accelerator. It
Yeah.
won't stop. Not having that support isn't going to stop what's already transpiring. It will just help accelerate it and give it more meaning. Because like I mentioned, I could have started a machine shop in a garage, got one machine, and started searching for private contracts here and there. I jumped all the way into the deep end. And I
Yeah.
said, been doing this long enough to do the big stuff. So help me build something that can help other people. Because this mission is bigger than just one man and one company.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I like that. I think that that mission behind it is going to give you a lot of momentum to draw from at every stage of the game and to transfer through all of, your business members as you grow your business itself with the employees, and also then those that are coming through and learning from you. Like I love anything around ripple effects and impact, and I think you got it going on there. It
Appreciate that.
sounds
Thank you.
fantastic. Oh,
Thank you.
indeed. Indeed. Um, as we slowly start to wind up, what would you say are probably some emerging trends that you see coming down the pipe and in AI? And I'm going to say over the next 2 years.
What I've noticed about AI the most and how people use it as a lot of generative AI, making content, creating images, creating videos, and things like that. I think that's neat. I think that's what's going to be the biggest trend of AI usage. But I'm still going to stay focused on practical usage and how we can use it in ways that are not. Shout out to all the creators out there. You're doing a great job. I love all the content online. But for me, I'm not a content creator. I make parts. I make space parts. I
Yeah,
make
literally
yeah.
hands on.
So that's what I would like to use it for, and I think that that type of trend is what will really set the stage for more practical usage on the workforce, whether it's plumbers, electricians, carpenters, mechanics, anybody. You can use AI to make your job better. Not easier. You still have to do the work. You still have to apply yourself, but you will get better at it if you use this technology. It's available. It's there for us. Just take the time. It takes a little bit of effort. The stigma around AI taking our place, I think that will change.
Is there anything else similar to what you were mentioning right there that you might suggest to companies, whether they are the plumbers or whatever, the accountants, or, any business professionals that are hesitant in using AI? Any other additional suggestions that you might have in regards to using AI?
I would say AI is not going to take the place of your employees, but individuals who are using AI will. So
Ah,
companies will
nice.
not outdo you. Companies who integrate AI are only going to outdo you if they have their workforce using it to make their jobs easier. And it's inevitable.
Mm,
We all thought we weren't going to be using the internet or a cell phone or
right.
go on TikTok. And yet here we all are.
Right. Yeah,
So if
good
the times are
parallel.
going to change and we have the opportunity to mold what that's going to turn into, then you need to get involved. And part of that is using the tools that are at discretion to build something. The
Hmm.
hammer is just a hammer until somebody picks it up to build the cathedral.
Right. Nice. There you go. Indeed. Indeed. And then it's key to know like how and where to apply that hammer. And that's where the human interaction comes into play with the tool of AI, right? With the hammer
Yeah.
of AI.
Think outside the box and
Yeah.
reiterate. Man, it's all
There
about
is no
iteration with
box.
AI.
What box? Why
Yeah,
do
forget
people make
about the box.
boxes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
forget it. Right.
Yeah.
It's all about reiterating and figuring out just like we do as humans. That's what this technology is capable of doing. What we already do, but using it to do it faster. Oh, I made this mistake. Try this. I made this mistake. Try this. You're just doing that 10 times quicker.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Fantastic. Well, Nick, anything else that you'd like to add before we wind things up at all?
Well, I just want to say I appreciate your time. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Thanks for
Yeah,
all the
my
great
pleasure.
questions, allowing me to rant about everything that's going on. And to all the listeners, I just want to say if you're out there looking for something that can make a difference for you, use your hands. Get into manufacturing, get into a trade, and get into motion. That's what it's all about. When you're building something, it's very rewarding, and that's it.
I love it. So for those people that really resonates with, and anyone else in general, how can they reach out to you? How can they find you? Where are you online? That sort of thing.
Uh, you can find me on X/Twitter at Nick J Roman, NickJayRoman. You can find me on LinkedIn, Nick Roman. Quantum Edge Precision would be a keyword. And quantumedgeprecision.com, you'll be able to find the links to the other socials there.
Great stuff. Well, thanks so much for hanging in here with this, back and forth conversation. I think that the audience is going to pull a lot out of it. I know that I certainly did. Really appreciate your time and all the work that you're doing right now, and then also just where you're going with things. I think you're setting up a lot of people for success, and I really applaud your efforts there. So
Thank you,
appreciate
Mark. I
you.
appreciate it. Likewise. Thank you very much. I hope to talk again soon. I'll keep you updated and maybe we'll do another show sometime.
Very good. All right, hang around here for just a minute so that we can edit this out. And thanks for being here. We'll talk soon.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll edit the rest out. Yeah, man. I think that went fantastic. Great
Thank you.
stuff. I truly am like really inspired with what you're doing. It's obvious to me on how you've thought things through. Yeah, like I'm excited to see the fruits of your labor in the
I
upcoming
appreciate it.
year, sort of
I
thing.
should have mentioned on August 6th, sorry, August 7th, my brother and I, we were on WPKZ 103.5. It's a Massachusetts radio station on the Hank Zone. We had 113,000 listeners hearing me call out the SBA and all of these civic leaders that should be getting involved. And shortly thereafter, about 2 or 3 weeks later, we had the Fitchburg's first small business information session with a bunch of civic leaders we were invited to. So maybe we made a little bit of waves there.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. It's all those little things that it's going to keep making your splash bigger and bigger for
Yeah.
sure. It sounds like you're really quite involved with the whole community aspect of it. And how are you lining things up to find the actual projects that Edge Precision is going to be doing?
So one of the things that was happening and that I had documented was the SBA bureaucratic war that I was going through to get these certifications. One of the certifications that I was able to get is called the Hub Zone certification. And that certification allows for set asides that have to be mandatorily sent to Hub Zone manufacturing companies, and being that we are the only hub zone manufacturing company in the North Central region, we are the de facto prime for federal contracts. So the money's going to come. We just need
So
the
the
infrastructure.
the the projects are residing in that house, if you will, and then
So, yeah, so
being
if I'll give you an example. Let's say Raytheon has $100 million in federal funding for an R&D project. And
yeah.
so part of that, the SBA, what they require is that's federal funding. 24% of all federal funding is set aside to underserved regions, which include hub zone, and 3% is mandated to those hub zones. So that's already like there are companies that actively seek hub zone manufacturers so that they can meet that quota. So we kind of set ourselves up for a win with that one. And once that infrastructure is in place, the work will then be able to speak for itself, because once they send us the work, and I've kind of been banked. That's what I said. I've been building everything first so that when I hit that switch,
You can handle it.
everything falls into place. And
Right.
part of that was getting those certifications, and now those certifications are a lot more appealing to grant writers and other venture capitalists and whatnot. So I built the infrastructure first before
Yeah.
or rather, I built the momentum before I built the infrastructure, which will allow the infrastructure to have all the fuel it needs.
So when do you
It
foresee
almost
your
it
first
almost sounds too
projects?
good to be true. Well, as soon as we stand up the infrastructure, we have several companies I have that I have relationship with throughout the years. They're ready to send us work. We just need to say, hey, we have the machines, the coolant is in the machine, the spindle oil is in there, send us some parts. Here you go. And we can start
Right.
those purchase orders. Right now, it's just a matter of time. We're waiting for the finalization of our lease through Fitchburg Redevelopment Authority. And that will give us what we need to start rigging in the machines, and the rest will be history.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you.
Well, like I said,
A
I'll
lot of
get
work.
this all edited up and over to you. What other questions might you have for me? Is there a way that I could help you further things?
So when you send me the edited version, how does that work? Am I allowed to post it wherever I want, or how's that gonna
Yeah,
work?
yeah, 100%. And just based off our conversation right now, so far, like with the pod, obviously there's like before the introduction and after the conclusion. But is there anything on the top of your mind that you definitely want us to not have in there? Because you could tell me now or like later when you see it, right? Because it's some
Whatever you
people are
think,
like, oh,
the
edit that out.
the juicier the better.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
hide who I am. Like I said, I hold myself to a level of transparency that I hold others to, and it might get a bit intense sometimes, but that's kind of what it takes in this field.
it
That's what
is.
I've noticed anyway. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, no, that so yeah, sending you the link to the show, sending you the clips so that you can repurpose them, do like you said, like doing more of these if you want. One of the service offerings that I have is even to do these for you so that you can keep the message going about like I mean, picture having I don't know, do you have your own podcast?
no, but we were offered a spot on the WPKZ until after the interview, and then the radio host says, "You can't be calling out the federal government on on the radio." I think he got a little nervous.
Oh, funny. Well, I mean, on a podcast, you can virtually call out anything you want so long as you're comfortable with it with your level of transparency. But the reason why I ask is because that is one of the services that we offer, such that all that you would do would be to show up for your podcast.
Okay.
We go
And I would
out
just be there
after we
talking
meet
and
with you. We find out exactly the type of individuals that you want to be on your podcast. We contact them. We get them booked on your calendar such that all you do is show up. And then we take all of the information, just like we had from this one, and we edit it and publish it on your behalf. So,
mm,
other than your showing up at the beginning and getting with us, telling us about who you want us, I mean, who, meaning a type of people you want us to
mhm,
contact, not
mhm,
specific names, sure, specific names, but then we contact them, book them on your schedule. You just basically, after that, the only work that you have is to show up for the podcast, and then we do the editing and the publishing.
okay. That sounds interesting. So I'd love to get some more information about that and what the cost is and things like that.
Yeah, yeah, I'm happy to put something together. Do you have an idea on how frequent you would want to do an episode?
I get really busy. I'm not gonna lie. I got my head in 20 different directions.
That's why I'm asking. So
So
and you would want to
if I
plan
did, I'd do something like once a month right now. Maybe I don't know.
once a month. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, sure. Okay. So I'll put something together based on once a month for you. And that's totally doable. I mean, 12 guests in a year, that's no problem. And then you could just
Yeah,
turn it up from there. But
yeah.
yeah, a fantastic way to get
I've
your
actually
branding
thought
out
about
there.
doing an AI podcast and having my QEP AI speak about quantum edge precision, and so people can see how the framework is able to speak through these different models.
You
Because
could
all of the
absolutely
models are
have that as one of
substrates.
the episodes.
Yeah,
I mean, as a part of multiple episodes
yeah,
where you've got that and you're showcasing that then and there so that
yeah.
people really have that connection with what you're doing, how you're utilizing it. And then so to not only drive that potential interest into your business, but also because what this does is this gets anyone in the audience thinking about how they can do something similar, but for in their business. Yeah. So that again, that impact, that transfer of learning, the ripple effect,
Mhm.
potentially is something right there for you that they want to connect with. Or it's also something that like, wow, look what Nick just did. Dang, I could do that with my stuff, whatever it is.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And that's
Yeah.
one of the things that I let people know. There's nothing that I'm doing that can't be done by everybody else in their own way.
Yeah. Yeah. Indeed. Good
Just like
stuff, Nick.
manufacturing. If they can do it, I can do it too. And that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, I love it. Who knows? Maybe the iRobot that I have, maybe it actually went through your shop
I
or part of
probably
it, Do you still have that working relationship with iRobot?
the company that I work for now at Thermocraft, they do not have any contracts with them, but we will be reaching out to iRobot and many of the other companies that are around the way, especially in Massachusetts. They're right next in Burlington, right off of Route 3. I drive past them all the time. So I'll go in
Nice.
there, suit it up, drop a little packet maybe.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I have a very strong relationship, like I said, with the heads of one of the departments there, Department of Marketing, Sales and Marketing. So he's at that C level sort of thing. So anything that I could do to help grease the wheels for you there, get you
Oh, wow,
back
I
in or
appreciate that.
whatever, beyond the connections that you already have, that sort of stuff,
The last
be
time I
happy to
made parts
leverage
for
that.
iRobot was 2010. They've been around for a long time. I've made parts for them in a company called Galaxy Labs Inc. Shout out to Galaxy Labs. I made parts for iRobot probably for about 2 or 3 years at that company. Different parts in and out.
Well, that sounds like it was a good. I mean, anytime you have a contract that's going multiple years, that's great.
I don't know if it was still there when I left, but
Yeah.
it was there when I was there.
Right. Nice. Nice. Well, yeah, and that's another thing that I love doing on these is playing connector. As you've been speaking also about, like, going out there and getting grants, things like that. Other companies that I've spoken with, like a guy, his company is all about the pharmaceutical industry, and their AI helps speed up the regulatory process rather. So as drugs go through the phase 1, 2, 3, 4 of approval, his AI cuts it off by about a year, shortens it by a year.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
he puts dollar out for this one company that's valued at like $400 million savings. But my
Wow.
point being is that they and two others that I've had on the podcast are looking for either seed money, so initial VC money, or private equity money. So, beyond what you're doing with grants and things like that, if you're ever searching for actual, venture capital, I've got some connections there too. So, happy to
Yeah,
introduce you to people
absolutely.
there if you ever go that route as well.
Yeah, I'd appreciate that as well. It's something that we're keeping in mind in terms of future growth and what it may require.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's tee you up for success, however possible.
I appreciate you, Mark. Really
All right.
nice
Likewise,
discussion.
Nick. Have a good
Take
holiday
care now.
weekend.
You too. Enjoy. I
All
might be
righty.
working still, but enjoy.
Nice. Okay. Take care. Good
Take
seeing
care.
you.
Bye.